Scott here from Woke Societies, and I'm doing an episode on a Sunday again. I think this is the second time that I've done this, but there are some good stories that have come out over the weekend that I just wanted to just let you guys know about. I'm super excited about this channel right now. I think I gained 10 subscribers just in the last 2 days, which puts me at 85. My goal for July was to hit 100 subscribers by the end of the month, so for a while I didn't think I was going to hit it, but I've been putting good intentions out there, you know, doing my meditations and really digging deep into this stuff. And the universe is answering, and I am super excited for how fast this channel is growing. And I am super appreciative of all you guys out there that are liking my content, commenting me, emailing me, asking me questions, and just seeing the audience of this channel is slowly growing. So I appreciate it, and I want you guys to keep sharing this stuff. Just keep telling your friends and family about it. Keep hitting that subscribe button. And I'm eventually going to hopefully be getting content out to you guys almost every day. That's my goal. Right now I'm about 3 to 4 videos a week. Between my son, my work schedule, a lot of stuff's going on. But I'm going to keep going. But today, guys, I wanted to put some stories here that I found super fascinating. We're going to go over some NASA things that we believe they covered up about the first Apollo 11 moon landing. Since yesterday was the 50th anniversary of that, we're going to be talking about Elon Musk's new technology that wants to link our brains to the internet. We're going to talk about some George Nader being arrested in the last couple of days, and I'm going to show you some things from a Ted Cruz interview with the guy that is a psychologist that works for Google. So we're going to jump right into this. I'm going to try to keep this quick, and let's start. So this article right here from XO News, again from our wonderful Michael Salla. He's a super informative guy, knows a lot about the secret space programs, but he had posted this article about NASA covering up Apollo 11 UFO encounter by deleting photos. And I'm just going to go through the points here. It says, NASA and the government didn't want the public to know the truth about what the Apollo 11 astronauts encountered when they landed on the moon in July of 1969. Former U.S. Army Command Sergeant Major Bob Dean, who served for NATO, says that NASA erased up to 40 rolls of film from the mission, including the flight to the moon and flight around the moon, the landings on the moon, the walking guys here and there. Founder of the Center for the Study of Extraterrestrial Intelligence, Stephen Greer, confirmed that there exists video footage of the Apollo 11 astronauts' UFO sightings. The footage, however, has never been released to the public. Greer relates how friends and relatives of Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin told Greer that the astronauts saw UFOs on the moon during their mission. On July 8th, in an official statement, which I'm going to click here, NASA admitted some of the tapes from the Apollo 11 missions are currently missing and may have been erased. The agency stated on its website that NASA searched for but could not locate some of the original Apollo 11 data tapes. Original in the sense that they directly recorded data transmitted from the moon. And an intensive search of archives and records concluded that the most likely scenario was that the program managers determined that there was no longer a need to keep the tapes. Since all the video and data were recorded elsewhere and they were erased and reused, NASA added, the space agency did not elaborate on the contents or theories surrounding the missing video footage. How convenient, guys. Several conspiracy theorists, including a U.S. Army officer who served for NATO, have openly blamed NASA for covering up the UFOs encountered by astronauts from the Apollo 11 moon mission. According to them, the space agency allegedly destroyed evidence of the encounter by deleting tapes from the event. Bob Dean, a former U.S. Army Command Sergeant Major, noted that NASA erased up to 40 rolls of film from the mission. He said this was the agency's way of ensuring that the public will never learn about what truly happened during the first human mission to the moon. My government, NASA, which many of us in the United States stands for never a straight answer. And guys, being in this stuff for a while, NASA is just, they're a huge psyop. There's a bunch of people all the people that work for NASA are super smart. They're savants in their, whatever they do there, but they are just pretty much a huge cover-up for what's really going on, and most of them don't even know what's going on. They have no idea. Dean's accusations against NASA were strengthened by the revelation of Stephen Greer, the founder of the Center for the Study of Extraterrestrial Intelligence. In a video posted on YouTube, Greer said that the friends and relatives of Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin told him that the astronauts saw UFOs on the moon during their mission. And guys, knowing all the information that I know about the secret space programs and from the insiders that I've listened to, many of them have all said that the moon is not a moon for one. The great William Tompkins has said that, who has recently passed away. The moon is not a moon. It's hollow on the inside, and pretty much ETs have used it and are currently using it as an observatory, and that is what they are currently using this for. And humans and ETs are currently inhabiting these lunar bases on the moon now. They also know, the insiders have talked about, that these astronauts, they saw ancient alien architecture ruins on the moon as well. And these big craters, they are craters, but what's inside these craters and these huge openings in the moon, there are UFOs coming in and out of these things, in and out of the bases. And especially guys like Corey Goode, who spent time on this lunar base where he trained for the secret space programs, and there's thousands of these people out there. They just haven't come out yet. But this is pretty much just talking about how NASA's covered it up. These guys weren't just up there to collect moon rocks. Besides being the first ones on the moon, which technically to the United States public we were, but we know they weren't. There's been humans on the moon for a long time. And they weren't there just to collect space rocks. I can tell you that right now. But just to give you guys just a little bit more inside information on this, NASA says right here, NASA searched for but could not locate some of the original Apollo 11 data tapes. Original in the sense that they directly recorded data transmission from the moon. An intensive search of archives and records concluded that the most likely scenario was that the program managers determined there was no longer a need to keep the tapes. Since all the video and data were recorded elsewhere, they were erased and reused. And here's the major point. Ultimately, the agency couldn't find the tapes and determined that they had most likely been erased and used again, which was the standard practice at the time. The search led by NASA engineer Dick Natzker focused on finding the specific tapes, knowing that the data had been recorded and saved elsewhere. So guys like Stephen Greer, he made the, I can't remember the name. He has an app where you can actually initiate contact with ETs. I haven't used it yet. Me spiritually, I am not ready to have contact with ETs. I'm working on myself a lot right now as far as diet and my meditation and all that stuff, but ETs work on a different frequency, and I'm going to do another episode on all that. But humans have the power to make contact with ETs on their own, benevolent ETs, and I've known people that have done it, and it can change. It'll literally change you as a person. Some people that aren't ready, some in a negative way, but some people that are in the positive, that have grounded themselves spiritually and are truly ready for an experience like that, it's changed their lives in a positive way permanently. But anyways, guys, I just wanted to show you that. I want to get more UFO, more ET, more space program stuff into my videos besides just politics. I know the Epstein stuff has been dominating lately, but that's just because that story is probably going to be the biggest story of the year as far as we know so far. And there's a lot of things in the hopper still to come, not just about Epstein. But I want to start out with that, guys. I'm going to transition to this article here about Elon Musk here. Elon Musk company Neuralink plans to connect people's brains to the internet by next year using a procedure he claims to be as safe and easy as LASIK eye surgery. Kind of scary stuff. Very scary stuff here. He says right here, your mind and computer may have gotten one step closer. Elon Musk on Tuesday announced in a live stream that his neurotechnology startup Neuralink hoped to begin implanting devices into human brains as early as next year. We hope to have this aspirationally in a human patient before the end of next year. Musk has invested $100 million into the secretive company since its founding in 2016, according to the New York Times. Neuralink has brought together some of the world's leading neuroscientists to its home base at a laboratory at the University of California at Davis. Musk said the Neuralink system would allow for a tiny chip referred to as a brain-machine interface to be implanted into the brains of willing subjects and would allow humans to achieve symbiosis with artificial intelligence. Guys, the power that our brains and our minds can achieve, we don't need to be connecting ourselves to the internet through physically altering our bodies. It's crazy. But let's keep going. Small chips measuring roughly 4 millimeters by 4 millimeters would be designed to stimulate neurons or nerve cells in the human brain that communicate with other cells using tiny flexible threads of electrodes. Each electrode thread would be inserted using a precision robot, and a procedure Musk said would be as safe and painless as LASIK eye surgery. It's not like a major operation, he said. Again, he's comparing it to LASIK. He said the system could be used to treat brain disorders like Alzheimer's or Parkinson's disease and ultimately could preserve and enhance brain function. He said Neuralink chips would be 1,000 times as effective as other electrode stimulating systems out there. And the article continues, guys. I'm not going to get into the rest of it, but that is the main gist of it. I don't really know where Elon Musk stands as far as, like, is he a good guy, a bad guy? He's done a lot of great things so far with a lot of his companies, but I don't know where he stands as far as who he supports, maybe politically. He seems kind of a neutral guy at this point, but some of the technology that he wants to create, I could already see it being turned into something extremely evil, especially linking our minds artificially to AI. And that is just something I don't want to be any part of. I know people would be signing up for this as soon as the technology would come out. I already know a bunch of people that would, unfortunately. But our minds, we were created the way we were created for a reason. We are supernatural beings that have supermassive powers that a lot of us just aren't aware of. We don't need it. In my opinion, I don't think we need to be anywhere near this stuff. But as far as the stuff with Alzheimer's and Parkinson's, and maybe these electrodes can help paralyzed people walk again, I have no issue with that at all. If it's just simply that, without being connected to the internet artificially, I'm all on board with that. But this is the stuff that's coming out, guys. This is the stuff that's being developed, and not many people know what's going on. So that's that. I wanted to show you guys this. So moving on to the next topic, we're going to be bouncing really quick here, guys. I just want to get this video out as fast as I can today. George Nader, witness in Mueller probe, which we're going to talk about in a minute, because while I was setting this video up again, guys, Q dropped 2 more posts. I swear, every time I'm about to get a video started, I'm about to jump on here, Q drops. So I'm going to save that for the end. But here we go. George Nader, witness in Mueller probe, hit with new charges of sex trafficking. George Nader, who is the key witness in special counsel Robert Mueller's investigation, which we all know is all bullshit by now, was hit with new federal charges of sex trafficking for allegedly engaging in sexual acts with a 14-year-old boy that he transported himself from Europe. An indictment unsealed Friday morning in Eastern District of Virginia also charges Nader with counts of child pornography and obscenity. The charges come on top of the separate child porn charges leveled by the same prosecutors last month. Nader, a 6-year-old Lebanese-American businessman with deep political and financial ties to the United Arab Emirates, was a key cooperator in Mueller's probe of foreign influence in the 2016 election. So guys, big names are starting to come out. Again, this all is tied to Epstein. I don't know if this exactly is tied to Epstein or not, but is the main connection is child porn, child sex trafficking, which Epstein is going down for, and what Nader has been also involved with as well. Again, these are elites, high-ranking politicians, all part of this pedophilia garbage. And guys, just to give you a heads up, because we're still waiting for those 2,000 pages of documents that hopefully are going to be released to the public about Epstein, and going to list the names of all the people that are involved with this. But I just want you guys to see this. This is directly from the Department of Justice. This was called Operation Broken Heart. I'm not going to get into the entire article here, but I just want to show you guys the main headline. Nearly 1,700 suspected child sex predators arrested during Operation Broken Heart. This was published in June 11, 2019. Since Trump has gotten to office, his administration has completely cracked down on human trafficking and sex trafficking, especially of children. It's no coincidence that this is happening under his administration. I just want you guys to see 1,700 suspected child sex predators arrested during operation, and there's more going down right now. The fact that we have Epstein locked up in Manhattan currently it's gonna bring way more than 1,700 people down. It's going to expose so many others. But times are changing right now, and these fucking evil people are being exposed, and it's going down. We're in the midst of it right now, and it's only going to get uglier as we progress through the days, weeks, and months here. So now the other thing I wanted to show you guys, this thing was big, right? Everyone probably heard about this Face app, right? This app that came out that was designed by Russia. It's just I wish it wasn't Russia, because they get so much flack for stuff they didn't do. But everyone heard about this Face app. Everyone downloaded it. I myself, smart enough, knowing what this stuff is capable of, not putting my face in some database that can be used for God knows what. But millions of people used it. It's an app where you take a picture of your face and it can project your age, and it can give you an accurate picture of what you look like when you're older. So this was everyone was talking about this past week. But the thing was, the small print on the app when you download it states this, and I'm going to read it. You grant FaceApp a perpetual, irrevocable, non-exclusive, royalty-free, worldwide, fully paid, transferable, sub-licensable license to use, reproduce, modify, adapt, publish, translate, create derivative works from, distribute, publicly perform, and display your user content in any name, username, or likeness provided in connection with your user content in all media formats and channels now known or later developed, without compensation to you. So guys, that's pretty much saying that once your face goes into this database, your picture, they can use your picture for whatever they want. Now, if you guys haven't seen my episode of deep fakes yet, check it out. This is going to be something that's going to be coming out in the news. I can almost guarantee it. Deepfakes are it's that AI. You can actually download an app that can make a deepfake where you can take a video of your face and this AI can translate your face to another body perfectly, where it'd be extremely hard to tell by the human eye if your face on this other person, it looks real. To the naked eye, people can't tell if that's actually you or not. So please watch that episode on deepfakes, because it's going to be this doesn't really have anything to do with deepfakes as of now, but I just want to show people that this company now has access to that photo and can use it for whatever they want. That's scary to think about. And right here, essentially like many other apps we use, Forbes says FaceApp is collecting the data of its users, including their names and photos, and is allowed to do what it wants with it. And as we all know, when an app collects your data, this isn't always stored securely, safely, or privately. And here's Kim Kardashian, using the Face app. But guys, the reason why I bring up deepfakes, this is essentially this isn't what deepfake is, but it is kind of related to that. Again, it can take your face and you can have audio running through a fake face of yours, saying things that you would never say, and it looks exactly like you. A lot of politicians that we know are probably going to be caught up with Epstein. We follow them on Twitter, and a lot of them are all talking about deepfakes right now, saying how dangerous they are. Because what's going to happen is these guys that are going to take the fall with Epstein, there's going to be videos, there's going to be text messages, there's going to be a ton of evidence against them. And if there's any videos of them, what are they going to do? They're going to claim it's a deepfake. That video was made by enemies of theirs, and it's not me. It's not true. I never said that. It's a deepfake. They are trying to get ahead of the narrative as we speak right now. And I had a tweet from one, it was just yesterday. I can't find it now, but this guy was talking about deepfakes and how dangerous they are. And as soon as he did, we all got on his Twitter and commented, Q posts, Q drops, what are you trying to get ahead of? People aren't stupid anymore, guys. People are all over this stuff 24/7. So be on the lookout for that. And again, watch my episode on deepfakes, because it's going to become very relevant soon, and I have a good feeling about it. So just to get into this real quick, guys, switching topics here completely. This article came out about asking if lawmakers demand the Pentagon disclose if it developed weaponized ticks. And this was a fact checker website that I found, and it breaks it down pretty good. There is a ton of information in here, but pretty much, I'll try to read some of it. I don't want to read all of this because it is a lot, but this gives a history of the United States testing biological weapons, right? And it says right here, a September 1945 memo of the Secretary of War detailed the program's accomplishments. The United States had used pilot plants to mass produce, among other pathogens, anthrax, brucellosis, had developed and field tested a new cluster bomb, and had constructed facilities for the large-scale production of several pathogens, including anti-crop agents. Biological warfare related to R&D largely took place at Camp later Fort Detrick in Maryland. And let's see. And right here, for decades, officials denied rumors of biological warfare experiments. Just to go back a little bit, guys, the United States, when we were in, tensions were really bad with Russia and the Soviet Union, the United States were developing things like the swine flu, things like that would destroy crops, very passive-aggressive ways that you can attack a country without having to actually go to war. You could attack their farms. You could poison their plants so they die. Poison the pigs for the, livestock, and essentially cut off a country's, eating supply, and eventually cause them, to self-implode. This stuff is happening. So, continuing here, for decades, officials denied rumors of biological warfare experiments, but in 1993, Newsday unearthed previously classified documents on plans to disrupt the Soviet economy by spreading diseases to kill its pigs, cattle, and horses, just like what I said. Most of the diseases studied, like African swine fever and rinderpest, affect only livestock, but one, Rift Valley fever, also occurs in humans. The warfare plans ended long ago, officials say, and now the laboratory focuses exclusively on preventing diseases. To satisfy their own concerns, Russian scientists inspected the center in 1994. So, there have been claims now that the U.S. made Lyme's disease, and this is what the House is asking the Pentagon officials to account for. And it says right here, this argument was mostly recently made in the book Bitten, The Secret History of Lyme Disease and Biological Weapons by science writer Chris Newby. What the book brings to light is that the U.S. military has conducted thousands of experiments exploring the use of ticks and tick-borne diseases as biological weapons, and in some cases, these agents escaped into the environment. The book also suggests that there are deliberate release or an accident involving biological weapons experimentation with unintended consequences to the environment. Ultimately, Bitten rests on three assertions. First, the U.S. researchers injected transmittal diseases into ticks and other insects. Second, that the first major outbreak of what we now call Lyme disease in the late 60s and 70s happened after the release of infected ticks into the general population. And third, that the agent being experimented with was or was related to the bacterial agent now known to cause Lyme disease. Evidence for each of these pillars comes for the most part from a single source, the U.S. National Institutes of Health Science, for whom that bacterial species is named, William Bergdorfer. Killed that one. I am terrible with names, guys. So this scientist seemed to be saying that Lyme wasn't a naturally occurring germ, one that may have gotten loose and been spread by global warming, an explosion of deer, and other environmental changes. It had been created in a military bioweapons lab for the specific purpose of harming human beings, and somehow it had gotten out. So guys, this raises a lot of questions. I myself have been bitten by ticks. I've been tested for Lyme's, and anyone that knows that I've been tested by Lyme's, it's extremely inaccurate test. Sometimes when you get a test for Lyme's, it says you have it. Some other tests say you don't. But I know a ton of people that have been bitten by ticks and that do have Lyme's disease. And I don't even know if there's probably natural homeopathic cures for Lyme disease, I'm sure, that are out there. But if you're going to a doctor, they're pretty much going to tell you that, you got it. And you got to kind of deal with the symptoms. And they have things that can, help with the symptoms, but you'll never be cured of it. It just makes you think, guys, nowadays, does anything surprise you? Does anything surprise you nowadays? And this talks about, if our country was making, diseases and fevers and things that would attack people's livestock, and harm animals, why wouldn't they go as far as making, diseases that would take out other human beings? Just maybe not use it, but we're gonna have a facility that tests it, that we know will affect humans, and that somehow God, the disease got out somehow, and now if it's affected hundreds of thousands of Americans in its own country, but we really didn't know where this disease came from. And right here he's saying Lyme isn't a naturally occurring germ, it had to be made in a lab somewhere. So it makes you think. So just at the end of this, it's just talking about the next step. The next step for Smith's initiative is to reconcile the House version of the 2020 defense authorization with the Senate version, which does not presently contain such an amendment. So right now, guys, they're trying to get answers from the Pentagon. And I don't know if we're going to find them. It's just something to keep an eye on. Super interesting stuff. Alright, and to bring you to the last thing that was really, really cool. You guys haven't seen this video yet, check it out. This is Senator Cruz grilling he talks about, he's a doctor, he studies behavior, he's a psychologist that studies behavior in 40 years. And I believe he worked for Google and was seeing, I don't know if he worked for Google, I don't want to say that. But he was analyzing the way Google uses its search, how its results came, and how many votes have actually that he thinks that Google is capable of swinging, and that Google did swing in 2016. So this is about 2 minutes. I'm going to give you guys just a quick listen here and listen to what happens here.
Cost him a dime.
Fair enough. Do you happen to know who the Hillary Clinton campaign's #1 financial supporter was in the year 2016?
I think I do, but please remind me.
The #1 financial supporter of the Hillary Clinton campaign in the 2016 election was the parent company of Google, Alphabet, who was our first witness. They were her #1 financial donor, and your testimony is, through their deceptive search methods, they moved 2.6 million votes in her direction. I would think anybody, whether or not you favor one candidate or another, should be deeply dismayed about a handful of Silicon Valley billionaires having that much power over our elections to silently and deceptively shift vote outcomes.
Again, with respect, I must correct you. The 2.6 million is a rock bottom minimum. The range is between 2.6 and 10.4 million, depending on how aggressively they used the techniques that I've been studying now for 6.5 years.
Wow, could you say that again, please?
The 2.6 million is a rock bottom minimum. The range is between 2.6 and 10.4 million votes, depending on how aggressive they were in using the techniques that I've been studying, such as the search engine manipulation effect, the search suggestion effect, the answer bot effect, and a number of others. They control these, and no one can counteract them. These are not competitive. These are tools that they have at their disposal exclusively.
If any headline comes out of this hearing, that should be it.
So there you have it, guys. They know for a fact, and that's a 12-minute interview. I watched the entire thing, but he says he goes into talking about how Silicon Valley really didn't think Hillary could lose. So they didn't ramp up their operations as far as search engine manipulation. The suggestion boxes when you type in, it was only ramped up to a certain point because they thought Hillary had the election in the bag. It was done. Trump had no chance. So he confidently could say that just on whatever level they had it at, easily swing 2.6 million to 10.4 million votes, and he said if the worst case scenario, it could have reached 15 million votes. That is clearly, there's something wrong there, guys, and it's not a question of whether we know Silicon Valley and all these, the media, the social media that we all use is not biased. It's not a question anymore. It's out there. We know it's true. And that is scary to think about, that such a powerful, powerful group of people can control votes like that. And he talks about Facebook saying they can send out a message to voters saying go vote, to remind people to go vote. And he talks about how they can send that notification just to Democrats, alone, and it'll affect numbers. He says the numbers, I forgot how many it was, but it was in the thousands of people going to vote, getting up off the couches that they wouldn't normally vote, seeing this message, and they go out and vote, and that totally can manipulate your voter outcomes. So this stuff is happening, guys. This stuff is real. And we know now for a fact through Project Veritas, with their interview from the Google executive, that they are hell-bent on never letting someone like Trump ever win again. So you think 2016 was bad, just wait until 2020 comes around, with all the stuff they're probably going to throw the kitchen at Trump to get him to lose, no matter what it takes. So this next year and a half is going to be absolutely insane. You guys need to stay aware of these things that are happening. That's why I'm doing this. So just to end it, originally that's where I was going to leave this video off, but Q dropped 2 more posts here. And this is probably going to be a foreshadow of the week to come. And again, we're going to be talking about Mueller, James Comey finally. And let's read it here. If A.J. Barr has access to all classified material, how does Mueller navigate? If Mueller provides false and/or misleading testimony, will A.J. Barr be forced to declass all documentation to ensure full public awareness of the truth? If Mueller defers to the original report, but Democrats/fake news push a false narrative knowing the majority of the public did not watch the actual hearing, will A.J. Barr be forced to declass all documentation to ensure full public awareness of the truth? Be ready, Mueller. Be ready, James Comey. Be ready. Be ready. Traitors, one and all. Thank you for playing. FISA goes both ways. And guys, to me, reading this means this is a checkmate. And why I say that is that we already know the Patriots have all the information on these guys. They know the full truth. And so does A.J. Barr, Attorney General Anthony Barr. He has all the information. And we know Mueller was going to be testifying last week on the 17th, but he canceled it, and I believe it's going to be the 24th. So what we're waiting here on, I don't know if they're going to wait for Mueller to testify first again. This is like the 3rd or 4th time. I don't know if they're going to be waiting for him to, give more bullshit answers to the Democrats and the other ones that are going to be questioning him, and then they're going to drop the hammer, completely blow him all out of the water, and drop the D-class that we've all been waiting for about this whole false Russian, hoax. It is the biggest hoax in American history, and an attempted coup on a president. This to me is, we've talked about this shit for so long. I just wish it would end, but it's only going to get worse. And Q linked James Comey Twitter account here. This week, an American patriot takes center stage. He doesn't want attention, has principles and follows them, and also tells the truth. What an opportunity for young people to be inspired. What a great opportunity for both parties in Congress to follow his example. This is what Q referenced here. Be ready, Mueller. Be ready, James Comey. That's JC. Right here. Be ready, traitors, one and all. Thanks for playing. Now, and remember, when the Mueller report came out, who was the star witness? Just to bring you back, George Nader, now a convicted pedophile. And the last one they dropped here, every single dirty tactic being deployed to stop the growth of this movement. Ask yourself a very simple Q. Why? Why are the biggest media companies in the world? They're attacking QAnon, they're attacking us, the followers, the Anons, they're attacking all of us. Non-stop, all day long. Why would they be doing that? If this was just a LARP, if this was just a bunch of kids in their mother's basements typing away, making these drops, they wouldn't give two shits about us. But they're right over target. Q is right over target, and they know they're fucked. This is why it's happening. So that's going to be it for me today, guys. Be prepared for another week of insane news, insane events happening in the world. These last 3 weeks have been absolute gold for, you know, this stuff, this type of channel. Like and subscribe, guys. If you love this channel, please get it out there to everyone that you know. I thoroughly enjoy what I'm doing. I love doing this stuff. So we're at 85. I want to get to 100 by the end of the month. Please, guys, make that happen. I will love you forever. And eventually, I want to get on Patreon, you know, to do some more stuff for all you guys that are following me. You know, I want to grow this channel. I don't know where it's going to go yet. At some point, I do want a co-host to do this stuff with me, because doing this stuff by myself is very time-consuming. The editing, you know, all the finding all the articles to talk about, it's very time-consuming. But it's growing. It's only been a month and a half since I've been on YouTube, and it's, you know, I'm almost at 100 subscribers already, and that's super exciting. So thank you, guys. Be on the lookout for more videos. Follow me on Twitter and Facebook, and stay woke.